good evening. We greet you tonight in the name of all that is good, all that is holy, and all that is sacred, and in the warm and loving energy of this ministry, Spiritual Life Center. If this is your first time live streaming with us, or you're live streaming with us because this is our only option right now, we especially want to welcome you, because we know that you are not here by accident. We know that every one of us is here by divine appointment. And I am just so honored to be able to bring you this program tonight, even though we can't be together in person. I'm laughing at myself because my title for tonight is actually Beyond Magical Thinking, not Beyond Positive Thinking. But this is what comes when you are in haste to get your information to marketing. So what's the difference? The difference is magical thinking is expecting to win the lottery without buying a ticket. Positive thinking is actually a spiritual discipline that takes you through different steps in order to create a more uplifting environment within yourself. Magical thinking expects to change the outside world. Positive thinking changes you and how you respond to the world. It teaches you to respond rather than to react. Now, we use a lot of different kinds of techniques in positive thinking, and of course, affirmations are one of them. And a lot of people believe that affirmations, just by themselves, are great. But here's what Cora and Charles Fillmore had to say about that in particular. They said, "There is an idea quite prevalent in the public mind that we teach a system of thought and word juggling, that anyone anywhere can have any and everything by merely repeating over and over certain magic words. It is true that words have magic in them, and very often the result of the mental imagery evoked by them is so startling as to suggest Aladdin and his lamp. However, a comprehension of the whole philosophy reveals a well-balanced set of principles upon which it rests." Now, I'm going to talk about two of the principles here, or two of the concepts around this. The first one is understanding the difference between what a lot of people call reality and illusion. Reality, with a capital R, is that which never changes. It's what we do call reality. We call it truth. We call it God. We call it spirit. We call it the silence. We each have a symbol for it, and we might use the words that I just said, or we might use a different word for it. Some people call it the divine. But whatever we name it is our symbol for it. The same thing with illusion. Illusion is reality with a small r. It is illusion. It is called the dream. It is called nothingness. It is called circumstances. It is called facts. Again, these are all symbols for what a lot of people call illusion. But illusion or the facts are things that can change. And so the difference between reality with a capital R and reality with a lowercase r is reality never changes. It is always constant. It is always the same. And reality with a small r is always changing. And so right now we are in the middle of some very, very big time small r reality when we're talking about the COVID-19 virus and the circumstances around that. My personal symbol for the facts of life is circumstances. I use that a lot because there's no judgment in that word. I can just say the circumstances and then I can move from there. When we are trying to change our mind about how we're seeing something is when we are moving into what we call the realm of positive thinking. But it's not just a matter of sitting there and doing affirmations. There is very much a school out there, or a group of, or people use affirmations in a way that when something happens, when there's something going on, the person just goes into affirmations. And they say, this is good, they affirm that this is no longer going to happen, or they affirm, this is perfect, it's good, no matter what, it's good. And that's only half the equation. And in fact, if a person is only doing affirmations in that respect, we actually call that spiritual bypass, because it's really important to acknowledge what's going on. When you acknowledge what's going on, then you can move past it. But as long as you're sort of pretending it's not there by simply affirming over it, you're not going to change you're not going to change anything on the outside. And you're certainly not going to change anything on the inside if you are plastering it over with just one more affirmation. So here's some other ideas about this. The world is a symbol. So there's pure thought, and then that comes into our minds, and then we try to express it through our thoughts. And the words I am speaking here are symbols for the ideas I'm wanting to convey. Alice Bailey wrote that our bodies are the physical symbol of the universal soul. It is the outer and visible sign of an inner reality, the concentration of the sensitive response entity which links spirit and matter. So we are outward and visible signs of an inward and spiritual grace. That is real, that is unchanging, and we simply spend a lot of time trying to explain it with the symbols that we are using. And so the symbols that we use mostly are our words. And our words are even more important than most of us think. And we try to watch them, and then at other times we don't, which means we're just really human. But affirmations are just part of it. The other part is denial. Now, a lot of people don't understand what denial is. They think that denial is saying that isn't real, that's not going to work, it's not here. And that is actually what we are calling the spiritual bypass. Denial is a process where you determine and you affirm. It's kind of a contradiction, isn't it? But you affirm that something does not have any power over you. It does not run you. So in this particular situation that we find ourselves today, most of us are at home. Most of us our lives have been very much disrupted. And if I were to say none of this has any power over me, on one level, that's not true. Because I have had to change the way I'm doing things. I have had to start doing my ministry from home. I'm not going to the store as much. I'm not seeing my friends. Those are all facts. Those are, and in a way, there is something that is running me. On the other hand, I don't have to let that get to me inside myself. I can still be the person that I am. And so when I say this doesn't have power over me, I'm not saying that it's not affecting my life. I am saying that I'm not going to let it get to me. I'm not going to let it make me be a different person. So while my movements are constricted, while I am sitting here in my kitchen with a cat staring at me, doing this talk with you, I'm still me. I'm still the spiritual being that I came in here to be. And I can still do the kinds of things that I need to do. I'm not going to allow this to control me in the way of making me curl up in fear. I'm not going to let all of the overbuying and all of the panic that has been out in the world, I'm not going to let that have power over me. Rather than letting all of the panic and all of those negative things that are out there in the press, in the media, I don't have to let that run me. I don't have to let that have power over me. I can still have my own thoughts. I can still determine what is best for me. Do I have to stay here in the house for the next 2 weeks without going out at all? Or is it okay for me to go to the bank? Is it okay for me to go to the grocery store without and still taking all kinds of precautions by washing my hands? And so while there are circumstances that are curtailing certain activities, I still don't have to let it take me over completely. And so I deny that this has ultimate power over me, that I am still the person that I am, and that I can do the things I need to do to continue to be who I am. I hope that makes sense. In the groups that I've worked on with denials, people have struggled with that because it doesn't make a lot of sense to them. Now, I had a friend that I tell stories about her a lot, and she called me up one day. No, actually, we were in a restaurant, and she said, "Now, I need to ask you a very serious question." And I said, "Okay." And she said, when I am doing my affirmations, I sometimes put in there something negative. So I will say, I will say something like, this is going to happen. This other thing has no power over me, and then goes on. And she was very, very concerned because someone else told her that you never, ever, ever put anything negative in an affirmation. And she finished this, and she was so sincere and she was so serious. And what I did was what any really good friend would do, is I just burst out laughing. And of course, the look of relief on her face, because she knows me well, was like, "Oh, it's okay." And I said, "You cannot do an adequate affirmation if you are not also denying that the negative has power over you." And we talked about it for a while, and it finally started to make sense to her. But when I have had groups sit down and try to write out denials, they get a little stumped. And so you might want to think about that a little bit. Basically, what you're doing is you are saying, this thing does not have power over me. I can still be who I am, and I can still do what I need to do. And then you do your affirmation. And the more you work with that, work with that process, the more your affirmations start to actually make sense to you. Because what you're really doing is changing the way you think about something. And you have to remember that the way we think about things is based on our beliefs. And some of our beliefs are very deep. And a lot of our beliefs are things that we don't even know are there. But they're there. And so when you start to walk through changing your mind about something, the denials are what help you get there. The denials are what help you see how you think about something. And then when you're going, "Oh, I didn't realize I thought that way," then you can say, that's not real. I choose not to accept that anymore. That has no power over me. And then you can go into your affirmations. And so affirmations and denials work hand in hand. And everybody talks about affirmation and denial, and the truth is it's denial and affirmation, because you're cleaning your mental pantry out. You're cleaning out so that you can make room for new thoughts. That's one of the reasons we call it new thought, actually, is you're replacing an old negative thought with a new and positive thought. It's a new way of thinking about something. So there are people right now who think that everything that's going on is really horrible and awful. And yes, it's challenging, but there will be good that will come out of it. And that doesn't mean that we're denying that everything is very serious. That's not what we're doing. But we are looking for what is good. But the only way you can look for what is good is by acknowledging what's going on right now. This is what's going on right now. There are circumstances. There are circumstances beyond our control. And those circumstances will run our lives to a certain degree. But we have absolutely the ability to keep within us our faith, our trust, our truth, knowing that we are divine beings, knowing that no matter what, there is something within each one of us that does not change, that is completely and forever unchanging. And when we can get to that point, then the way we look at the world and the way we look at circumstances also changes. And it makes us better people. It makes us healthier emotionally and psychologically. And it helps all of the other people around us as well. So keep in mind that you will go through different variations of this as you start to work with it. And there will be days when it's easier than others. I just was talking with someone on the phone, and they're trying to move across country, and they were envisioning renting a house that they wanted. And she said, "I'm not doing a very good job of it, but I'm sitting down for 5 minutes each day and imagining and visioning being in that house because I have pictures of it." And I said, 5 minutes is all you need. There's no time and there is no geography in consciousness. So whatever it is you do, You don't have to do it for hours and hours. 5 minutes is enough. The fact that you even do it at all is enough, because it's always enough. Just keep in mind that inside you is a reality that never changes, and that circumstances will always change, that nothing here is permanent, even though it is very real on an emotional and psychological level. This too will pass. We will rise above this, and all is well.
Breathe on me, Holy Spirit of God. Breathe on me, fill me anew. Breathe on me, Holy Spirit of God, to love what you love and to do what you do. Breathe on me, Holy Spirit of God. Breathe on me, fill me anew. Breathe on me, Holy Spirit of God, to love what you love and to do what you do. Breathe on me, breath of God. Make my heart pure. Conform my will to your holy will, to choose a life of virtue. Breathe on me, Holy Spirit of God. Breathe on me, fill me anew. Breathe on me, Holy Spirit of God, to love what you love and to do what you do. Breathe on me, breath of God, so I shall never die, but live in the Spirit eternally. Live in the Spirit of life. Breathe on me, Holy Spirit of God. Breathe on me, fill me anew. Breathe on me, Holy Spirit of God, to love what you love and to do what you do. Breathe on me, Holy Spirit of God. Breathe on me, fill me anew. Breathe on me, Holy Spirit of God, to love what you love and to do what you do.
Let's take a moment for meditation. Take a breath, close your eyes, allow yourself to settle in, dropping your shoulders, relaxing your hands, letting go. Sink into your chair or your couch or whatever it is you're lying on. sitting on. Focus on your breath. Focus on your heart center. Breathing in light into your heart center. Breathing out light. Breathing in light. Breathing out light. Allowing yourself to simply drift and relax and be at peace. You are peace. You are love. You are joy. You are strength. You are beautiful. Continuing to breathe this light into your heart and then exhaling light into the world. Notice how your entire body becomes filled with light. And with every exhale, you emit this light out into the world. And each of you are expanding and expanding until your light encompasses your house, your neighborhood, your town, your country, your world. Continue to breathe, bringing in light, exhaling light, allowing it to go. And surround this world in healing, in peace, knowing that there is only one mind, one heart, one world. There is only one. Take a breath and bring yourselves back, knowing that even as you go out into the world, every breath you take brings in light, and every exhalation sends light into the world, and that we are one, and that we are whole, and that we are blessed. And so it is. Now, this would be the time in our regular service when we would have our offering. And I just want to say that Spiritual Life Center operates exclusively by way of our love offerings. And we've had to transition our services online due to the COVID-19 precautions. This means our weekly offering income is down 30 to 40%. We know that this time is filled with uncertainty, and we simply ask for you to consider giving any amount you're able if you felt spiritually fed by any of the programs that we have brought you. There are several ways to give. One way is to text SLC Love to 44321. You can go to the PayPal and do it that way. You can mail a check to our address. Or you can schedule a phone call with our staff to process a credit card over the phone. And you can find the PayPal link and our address again and our phone number on our website. So please give generously so that we may continue to keep these programs coming. And let's now take out your electronic device, whatever that is, and say together our blessing offering. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
Thank you, Thank you. 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 Pouring down. Your love is pouring down. Your love is pouring down. Your love is pouring down.
I love this doing the bunny slipper church. I would prefer to be doing it with you in person, but right now, bunny slippers it is. So let us say our prayer for protection together, and then I'll see you next week. Together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And may the joys of the world go with you.